I came from the mud. There's dirt on my hands.
Welcome to Build an Iconic Life podcast. I'm your host, Chris Whitehead, and this podcast is dedicated to help you build a life with zero regrets by focusing on how you have everything you need to stand up, stand out, and live life on your terms. Let's dive right in. Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Build an Iconic Life. We have Tod Holland with us here today. And Tod, thank you for taking time to show up on our podcast.
Oh man, thank you for having me, dude. I'm so excited.
Yeah, everybody, full disclosure, Tod and I have done business together. Tod has helped me with marketing. We did a strong six-figure day because of some of the marketing that you put together. And he's the real deal. But the reason that I really brought you on the show, bro, is because I know you know this too. In the online marketing space, there are a lot of people that make a lot of promises. And when you finally meet someone that actually doesn't overcharge you, but instead wants to get to know what you're doing and truly help shine you, you go the extra mile for people. And to me, that is iconic. So my first question is for the audience, who is Tod Holland?
Yeah, who is Tod Holland? We're still figuring that one out, aren't we? I like to think of Tod Holland as a teacher. Tod Holland is someone who exists to gather knowledge and distribute it to people who want that knowledge and who are going to take that knowledge and do something really freaking cool with it. That's Tod Holland.
What in all of your experience, man? So you've taught a lot of people,
hundreds.
What drew you into digital marketing? I mean, you used to be a professor at a college, right?
Yeah, for a little bit. I taught economics at San Jose State University for 2 years.
You go from teaching economics, you kind of become an entrepreneur and do some pretty big stuff with that. You can get into that if you want to in a minute, but I want to know, how did you trickle into becoming a digital marketer?
Yeah, man. So one thing that I think anyone in education will tell you is that it's very fulfilling, but it's also extremely hard to survive on $2,100 a month, which is at the time what they were paying a non-tenured professor. So while I loved that and all of the things that came with that, you know, if I wanted a house, if I wanted a family, if I wanted all these things that you know, at the time I was very young. I was like 22 when I got that job. And I was like, I want all these things. And so I said, you know, as much as maybe I'll come back to this, but I've got to leave it for now. I started real estate prior to when I was in college. I'm not going to go too deep into my story, you know, unprompted here, but I started real estate at 18, like right my first day of college. I got my real estate license because I'm like, I can't hold a regular job with these class schedules, taking 24 units at a time. I'll sell houses. Dumb, right? As if selling houses is easier than having a real job.
Right.
Basically forced myself to be a business owner at 18, and I wasn't ready for it. And it was in San Francisco. So the average homeowner in San Francisco was like 50 plus. I was 18. I was younger than their kids. I'm out there knocking on the doors like, can I please list your home? It wasn't happening, right? So the only thing I could figure out was that like the traditional way of selling for me, I couldn't do it. Like I'm not super charming. I'm incredibly awkward. Like these are all things that like I've worked on and I'm better at now. When I was 18, I was a kid. Right. This was like exponential. And there was no way I was getting someone to sign a $2 million contract with me at age 18 without even being able to like go through the conversation without sweating or like shaking my voice or whatever. So I worked on that, but I was like, I'm going to have to get in front of these people like a different way because I don't want to stop doing what I'm doing. I got my first sale, which was a $1.5 million house, which is like a garden shack in San Francisco. But for me, I was about it at the time, and it was like a $35,000 commission check off of that one for like a 19-year-old kid. So I was like, I don't want to stop doing this. Like I want to do this. I want to go to school. I want to finish my degree. All these different things. So I hired a marketer off my first commission check, and he was cool. Like he was nice. Clearly took advantage of me because I was younger and like didn't fulfill on all of his promises like he'd said, but one thing he did do was walk me through what he was doing. And so like I took notes. I had this remarkable back then. So I furiously took notes and I was like, okay, I can replicate some of this. I can do some of this. So I did it. I tried it myself and I failed. And I tried it again myself and I failed and I failed, but I got it right on my sixth time. And I said, okay, can I replicate that thing that I just got right for a different market for one of my coworkers at the time? I could. And so I rolled this out for all of the agents in my brokerage, all my coworkers. My broker caught wind of it and was like, okay, well, now you can either be someone we pay $5,000 a month to, or we can bring you on as a partner to the brokerage and you can get like an extra. So I was like, well, I am in college for math and that number looks a lot bigger than that number does. I'm gonna go with that number. So that's kind of how it started. And so we started that brokerage. I was 21, 22 at the time when I became a partner of the brokerage. We had like 8 agents because of this marketing thing. Like now everyone's like talking about marketing as like, we offer this to the agents. Well, back then nobody really did that. So everyone from Keller Williams and Coldwell Banker, we had close to like 95 agents at the end of it when we switched to a mortgage firm too, because we realized that we could double up and leverage what we did for real estate and mortgage and kind of build the whole thing out. I exited at 25 of that firm because variety of things, primarily that was the year that my mom got sick. So, the 20-hour days or, the 18-hour days, 6 days a week, it wouldn't fly. I had to be home to take care of, and I didn't have to. I made that decision because I was like, well, the whole point of this thing was to create a life I wanted to create, right?
Yeah.
From the beginning. I wanted to create something that I felt happy with and I didn't feel like shoved into a box of what I didn't want to do. And so I said, well, this is something that's very important to me. I want to build my life around this. So I exited that company. I still get a nice, retainer every month off of it because they're still around. Go look them up, Tod Holland International. They're still doing fantastic. But after that, I had to completely pivot and say, well, I'm home now. Right? Like we did a 1.6 billion merger and acquisition with Sotheby's and all these really cool things. I can go into those later on if we want to, but like I'm home now. What am I going to do from home? I'm not just going to sit around and watch TV. So at that point, I was like, the one thing I did really well that didn't require me to leave the house so I could stay with mom was marketing. I could build these marketing campaigns for people and then charge a retainer off of it. And then that's how I would, keep my lights on, so to speak. So long answer to a short question. That's how I went from real estate agent, teacher to real estate agent, digital marketing.
How long have you been doing that now?
Oh, all in about 13 years, full-time around 7 or 8.
Okay. What do you think are some of the biggest lessons that you're going to have 2 people listening to this podcast. You're going to have business owners. You're going to have people that want to do marketing themselves that are business owners. And you're going to have business owners that have probably been burnt 15 times that don't really know what they're looking for because all they're getting are these ads that say, if we don't get you results, you don't pay us, which is not true, everyone. That's not how that usually works for people. What would you recommend through the lessons that you've learned? What are people looking for when they're ready to hire a marketing firm?
Yeah, God, that's such a great question. I think what people are looking for when they want to hire a marketing firm, at the end of the day, some combination between time and a promise of growth. I think that people who hire a marketing firm when they just start a business, just out the gate, they're like, okay, I'll hire a marketer to handle all these things. Those people tend to do themselves a disservice, right? So I think when somebody's out there, like the place that I would be when I'm ready to hire a marketer is I have a bit of revenue coming in. The business is moving. It's, on my own efforts, things are going well, but I want to expand into new channels that are becoming like more and more important every day with how, the world is nowadays. These TikTok and shorts and reels, like that's what's working for whatever reason. So you've got the revenue, you've got, this channel that you've mastered, which might be door to door or cold calling or, whatever you're doing there. But now it's time to enter a new channel or to scale up the channel that you're in. By channel, I'm talking about a revenue stream, a way to access revenue for your product using a different like social media app, for example, creating shorter videos, whatever. I think that people want to hire a marketer when they are in a position to accept the strategy that comes with that, if that makes sense. So a lot of times a marketer will tell you to do something that you're not comfortable doing. For example, get on video, right? Very few people are comfortable getting on video, but every marketer will tell someone to do that. They don't have a backup plan for when someone is unwilling to get on video. They don't have another thing that works for someone they're just like, this is what we do, and that's it. And I think strategy is like a bigger umbrella than that, isn't it? Like you really want to have something for, everyone's style of doing business, because then ultimately you have these variations in messaging, which shine through. If everyone's doing the same thing the same way, it becomes a meme. It becomes a joke. It's no longer, that's not marketing, in my opinion. That's cookie cutter, just taking something and shooting it back out. I don't think it's as effective.
And I think the tip that you gave, that you cannot be a desperate soul wishing and hoping that the marketing is going to make you money. You need to have figured out how to at least be moderately stable, because marketing isn't a fix-all. It is an enhancement that will take time to find the result. That's what I learned with marketing. Like, look, it might cost you $3,500, $4,000, $5,000, $10,000, depends on who you use. Or people charge $50,000 a month. But you got a good 3 months in there of experimenting before you could even hope that you get some stable ROI out of that. And that's even fast, depending on what kind of company that you're building. So don't be a desperate Sally, desperate Debbie, running into this thing thinking, oh, if I give this guy $15,000, I'll make $150,000 off of it, because it often doesn't happen. That's what I heard you saying.
100%, dude. 100%. And I think that exactly what you kind of got at there, which I really liked, is that, a lot of this comes from work, right? If all it took was hiring a marketer, people wouldn't be on the market. They wouldn't like invest in stock. They wouldn't buy property. They would just pay a marketer to 10x their money. All marketing test. I mean, even the campaigns that, like, I can get in for a roofer and I can, like, be reasonably sure that a campaign that I built, because I've done it so many times, is going to get leads for under $16, appointments for under $35. Like, I've got this in my head. But it's still a test, because when I launched this ad in Texarkana versus Newport Beach, California, they speak different there. Things are different. Targeting is different. So even if your marketer or you yourself is like bang on, I've got this in the bag, it's still a test, and you still have to look at it like a test, because like you said, it could be 90 days before you turn a profit. You could turn a profit the first day, but like, don't plan on it, right?
Yeah. So, one of the reasons I brought you on here, though, is not only did you have success early, not only did you continue to say yes to yourself, hold yourself to a standard, bro. Hats off to you when your mom got ill that you chose family over finance, right? That's powerful, man.
Yeah.
But you've done something really unique in the marketplace because you're an educator. You decided to go combine passions. You combine multiple professions. What is it that you're doing now that you think is different and unique from what you see a lot of other people out there doing that are marketing companies?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I love how you put that, right? Combining passions. I think that's what a lot of business owners have to do as well. They have to combine their passions, right? They have to combine the passion for making money and the passion for the actual thing that they love to do, and you squeeze those together and you've got magic. So I love that. I'm going to use that if that's okay.
Of course.
So I mean, what's different is that, like, you have these two tranches, right? You have marketing companies who want to educate, but they want to do it with these like recycled, regurgitated courses that are built in like 2013. They might still work today, they might not. Or you have the people who like took a class like that, to be honest, and then want to go and sell their services. Like, I'm going to do the things that you would otherwise find in this course. And that leaves like a pretty big gap between, you either have to do it yourself with like a very limited amount of support, or you have to hire someone and give them financial support. And like you said, it could be 3 months, 6 months. They may never make a profit because it's an unregulated industry, right? So have that gap. how do you bridge that gap? Well, you can either, you know, hire a CMO, like a fractional CMO for your business, but that's not for everybody. Sometimes like you're the one who wants to do, especially guys my age, right? People like young want to be able to do these things themselves because their inherent like masculinity attributed to being able to run a computer and do tech stuff. Like the way it was like when maybe you were a kid, Chris, and like working on a car or working on a boiler, there's an inherent like I'm a fucking dude. Like there's that to it. We have that with computers nowadays. It's kind of weird. So like the more tech savvy we are, the more value we give ourselves. So what I've started doing, what I put together was this this sort of support centric, done with you course, if you will, course mastermind group where business owners, marketers can come in with any sort of, you know, I'm a marketer or I've never done this before. And you can get support from me and my team to get yourself, educate yourself to the point where like, okay, I'm now ready to jump in there. And in fact, it can be done. It's not a 2-month build time or a 2-month lead time for these things. You can have all of this stuff set up for yourself in 5 days. It can take you 5 days to do what you would pay someone $10,000 to do. And then you own that thing. Now, what you do from that point on is up to you. You can either hire someone to run that system, learn to run that system yourself, which I teach it, but you own a system that's literally yours that nobody can take away from you if you stop paying their invoice or what have you, right? And I think that's missing today. The ability to kind of take back your marketing, to take back your client acquisition stuff instead of forcing business owners to, you know, outsource that out to someone they may or may not even trust, because that's just what people do nowadays.
And because you've been doing it so long, you believe in value adding. Yeah, we've had tons of conversations about that. But one of the value adds that you have is you used to sell this information at cost because you can. It's called digital marketing. What have you done with all of that information now for people?
Dude, we made it free. So I think we have more free content out there than just about anyone else doing this. I myself have like 300 videos on YouTube, long form, 15 minutes or longer videos on specific stuff. I opened the gate to those. I used to charge for those. I would like package it for $9.97 this and $4.97 that, and you know, your left arm this, whatever. Now I'm just like, look, you need that to get to a point where you can even hire someone. And I realize that, where it's like you need that foundation, because you have to speak marketing to hire a marketer. Otherwise, this guy's going to sound like me. And you don't want a guy on your team that sounds like me. Right? So yeah, long answer, short question. That's what I've done. It's all, you can just go on Tod Holland on YouTube. It's all there. Follow along with it. Not only that, I set up a Facebook group, because apparently that's what you do now. I set up a Facebook group, about 500 people in there at the time this recording. Hopefully it'll be a little more after this. Bunch of free stuff. Literally, I go in there every single day and I'm like, hey, here's a thing that you can do today to go make some money in marketing or marketing your business. Every single day. Made that commitment. So yeah, more important to me than getting paid a little bit to give you some information is to give you the information, right? Give you the information, because I benefit more. Here's the thing that people who are short-sighted in this don't understand. I benefit more by giving you something for free that you take advantage of than I do by charging you for something. Right?
And how?
If you,
tell them how.
I'll tell you, Chris Whitehead. See, think about it. You're paying me. I'm your secret sauce. I get a retainer from you. You don't introduce me to any of your coworkers. I don't, nobody hears about me. I'm your secret weapon, right? And that's great, because I want to be that. I wanted to be that for the longest time, but there's not a lot of scale for me in that. Whereas if I give you something for free and you're like, hey, this works, I'm going to go do that. 5 people are going to ask you, hey, what's this new thing you're doing? You're going to show them my channel. I benefit from this because I don't want the small money. Right? Because I think $1,000 a month or whatever a retainer is, that's small money in the grand scheme of, I want to have contributed billions of dollars of growth to the world by the time I die. Right? You paying me a little bit to keep my lights on, it's great. I love it. It's fine. It's not the end game. The end game is to be here after I'm gone. And that's the only way I know I can be that. So is that crazy? Fuck yeah, it's crazy. But it's how I do things.
It also has been my experience, everyone, that the law of reciprocity does work. And when you don't worry about who you're giving, what you're giving to, but you truly do it from the heart of service to help other people, those are seeds that are being planted, in the figurative ground that in due season they start to harvest. And what Todd's telling you, this is why I have him on this show. If you will just keep planting seeds and never worry about it, you never worry about the harvest, because it just keeps eventually over time showing up every single day. And so he left a clue inside of his free group, which I'm sure you'll tell us about how we get access to that. But inside of his free group, what is he doing? He's planting another marketing seed every day in hopes that you will finally pay attention, give it a shot, find how easy it is to get a result, because over time, whether it's you, whether it's someone else, they're going to say, my gosh, this works. This guy and his team know what they're doing, and I think I would rather have them do it than me do it, and I'm willing to pay the premium price because I know I'll get the premium result from it. That's how I built multiple companies on my own. That's how Todd's building this, and it comes from a place, dude, this is so cool. One of the things that I've said, because my stepmom was an educator, right? She got her master's degree. She's in Fairfax, Virginia. She's making more money in Fairfax than you can almost anywhere in the country as a school teacher. And it's still not enough money because you live in Fairfax. It's like living in California. Like, wow, you make a lot of money. You know how much it costs to live in California? You got to make a lot of money or you're on the street. So instead of you bitching and complaining, which is what my stepmom kind of did a little bit by saying it's not fair, we should get paid more. I agree with you. You're educating the youth. You should get paid a lot more. But unfortunately, that's how the system works. You decided to be the same human being, but go find a target-rich environment where you could get paid what you're actually worth. Mm-hmm. And that probably took the hinges off the doors so that you could expand what that value proposition was for the people that you wanted to take care of and what you make on your own. Because you're under 40, right?
I am 32. I have to ask my wife how old I am. I think I'm 32.
And you're doing okay.
I'm okay.
You're doing okay. You own a nice house.
We're pushing 7 figures for this year, so I'm pretty excited.
And you own ducks.
And you asked me not to talk about the ducks, Chris. I own 8 ducks. Yeah.
Which means you have water around you.
Oh yeah, we live on a lake in the desert. I moved to the desert to get closer to water.
That's Tod Holland for you, everybody. He's unconventional as they can. Hey, bro, if people want to reach out to you and get to know you more, tell us about the Facebook group, because it's free, everybody. It's a good way for you to check it out. And I'm telling you, if you own a business or if you're looking at scaling, I've only been in the online space since 2009, really started paying attention to it in 2011. I have taken a decade to teach myself marketing. This wasn't really available back in 2011. Everybody charged so much money for the information that Todd's now giving away for free. How do they find you, man?
Dude, easiest way, on YouTube, Tod Holland, catch all my videos if that's what you're into. If you want to join the community in the group, like Chris said, it's free. Sales Funnel Fanatics, we'll drop the link at the end here. You can click on that, join up. It's no obligation, anything like that. Just come ready to learn something, right? Come ready to learn, come ready to execute, and feel free to post your wins because that makes me look really good. And if you want to reach out to me directly, press stuff or just questions like, hey, I got a specific question about marketing that only you can answer, that's Tod, T-O-D, at workwithtodd.com. Easiest way to get in touch with those 3 ways. So
T-O-D at workwithtodd.com.
That's right.
Brother, I brought you on this show because you're one of the real ones. You have worked inside and outside of multi-million-dollar companies. You've helped scale them to multi-million-dollar companies. I didn't know that the former real estate company is now a billion-dollar company, but you've had a lot of experience, man. And the reason I have you on this show is because the people that I want to surround myself with are people of integrity, are people that are, the dollar bill is not first. It's okay to make money, everyone. What's not okay is to use people and love things. And Tod is someone that uses things and loves ducks. So I just need you to understand that this is one of the guys that I recommend personally, because I've worked with him and I've seen him work with hundreds of other people, and take the time to actually educate them. Everything's not a sales call with him. He really cares about helping people live a better life. And he kind of loves and respects the entrepreneur out there. But dude, even if grandma were walking across the street, like, you're just that guy. You're just nice, happy, hippie, laid back, cool guy. That's how you want to live your life. Is that not true?
That's me, man. I'll tell you what, I'm such a shit actor. I couldn't be anything else if I wanted to be. This is me.
Yeah. We love you for it, bro. So reach out to him, everybody, and we'll put his links up on the cover of this thing. And if you need to find him and you don't know how to, you can reach out to me too. Until we talk to you again, everybody, I'm Chris Whitehead. This is Building Iconic Life with Tod Holland, and we will see you in the trenches.
That's
Take
right.
care,
I came from the mud. There's dirt on my hands. Strong like a tree. There's roots where I stand.
Hey, friend, if you enjoyed listening to this podcast, please leave a review and subscribe to catch future casts. If you really enjoyed this episode, make sure you share it so others can benefit from it as well. I'll see you in the trenches.
Try to catch me howling at the moon.